Let's get started with our first big story. Illia has finally shared an update on his next fight, but the news isn't exactly what fans were hoping to hear. During a recent press conference in Spain, the undefeated UFC featherweight champion revealed that, as of now, there have been no real negotiations with the promotion regarding his next bout. For someone who has been riding so much momentum, this lack of progress is a little surprising, and for his supporters, it's definitely frustrating. Still, Illia made it clear that he remains open to different possibilities, and his confidence hasn't wavered one bit. When asked about potential opponents, Illia didn't shy away from dropping a few names that could make massive waves for the UFC. He said he's ready and willing to face Paddy Pimblett, Arman, or Justin Gaethje. Each of those matchups would bring something completely different to the table. Paddy would create a fight with a ton of attention given his huge following, though many question if he's truly on Illia's level. Arman would be a much tougher stylistic challenge, a high-level grappler and a relentless competitor who has been building a reputation as one of the most dangerous fighters in the lightweight division. Then of course there's Justin Gaethje, known for his wars inside the cage, a fan favorite with knockout power and a willingness to stand and trade with anyone. Illia's openness to these names shows his desire to keep pushing himself and to cement his legacy. He isn't running from any challenge. In fact, he made it clear that he welcomes whatever the UFC puts in front of him. The only issue right now is the delay in making things official, and that's the part that leaves everyone waiting. But Illia didn't just talk about the UFC, he also expressed his ambition to step outside the octagon one day and enter the world of boxing. He said with full confidence that he can convince Dana White to let him chase that opportunity. It's no secret that UFC stars like Conor have paved the way for crossover fights, creating massive paydays and global attention. Illia clearly sees that path for himself as well, and with his charisma, undefeated record, and growing star power, it's hard to argue against the idea that fans would tune in to watch him box. The Spanish press conference also showed how calm and collected Illia remains through all the uncertainty. He wasn't frustrated, he wasn't angry, he was composed, smiling, and even playful at times. This is a man who knows his worth, who knows the spotlight will be there when the time comes, and who knows that the UFC can't afford to keep him on the sidelines for too long. For him, it's just about timing. So while fans may not get immediate news on who or when Illia will fight next, the message was clear. He's ready, he's hungry, and he's confident that whether it's Paddy, Arman, Justin, or even a future boxing match, he will continue to deliver unforgettable performances and remind the world why his name is being spoken louder and louder every single day. Moving on to another news, Conor has officially vowed that his long-awaited return to the octagon will happen on the biggest stage imaginable, the historic first-ever UFC card at the White House in 2026. After more than 4 years away from competition, the former two-division champion insists that this is the moment, this is the stage, and this is HS's event. For fans who have been holding their breath, the wait may finally be coming to an end. It has been a difficult road back for Conor. A devastating broken leg in his trilogy fight with Dustin Poirier, followed by a broken toe ahead of a scheduled showdown with Michael Chandler, has kept him sidelined much longer than anyone initially expected. Every time it seemed like the comeback was near, another obstacle appeared. But the announcement from President Donald Trump about hosting a UFC event at the White House during the America 250 celebration lit a fire in Conor. The chance to headline such a once-in-a-lifetime occasion was too big to ignore. Speaking with his trademark energy, Conor told TMZ just how much this opportunity means to him. "I'm ecstatic. The Mac is back, and what better event than to grace the White House lawn for a straightener? What I do best, I'm very excited, very eager, very motivated. Bring it on, baby." The passion in his voice was unmistakable, the hunger to compete again radiating through every word. To prove that this isn't just talk, Conor has already re-entered the UFC's anti-doping program. That means he must undergo 6 months of mandatory testing before stepping into the cage. It's a move that silences doubters and shows he's serious about this return. Dana White, the UFC CEO, has hinted multiple times that he believes Conor is all in this time. While White has been careful not to commit to any matchmaking until at least February 2026, he has acknowledged how massive this White House card could be, especially with Conor headlining. Conor, however, doesn't want to wait. He's thrilled that the event has been shifted from July to June, but in his words, even that's not soon enough. "I'm very happy that it's June," he said. It was on in July, now it's a month earlier. Even better, bring it to April, why not? Let's celebrate the birthday early. I celebrate my birthday months in advance. The enthusiasm is pure Conor, filled with that unmistakable charisma that made him the biggest star in the sport. As for an opponent, nothing has been confirmed. Still, Chandler has already voiced his interest, making it clear he wants to settle the unfinished business that began when the two coached opposite each other on The Ultimate Fighter. The fight never materialized back then, but the anticipation only grew stronger. A Conor vs. Chandler main event on the White House lawn would be nothing short of explosive. With the stage set, the timing aligned, and the fighter himself declaring, "That's my event for sure." The comeback of Conor feels closer than ever. The Maca is back, and this time it looks unstoppable. Now move on to our third big story. Silva has broken his silence following the toughest night of his UFC career, addressing fans after his devastating knockout loss at Noche UFC. The Brazilian featherweight, who came into the event riding an undefeated UFC streak, suffered his first knockout defeat at the hands of Diego Lopes in the second round. For Silva, it was not only his first KO/TKO loss but also his first setback since 2018, making the moment even more difficult to process. The fight started competitively, but in round 2 Lopes landed a brutal spinning back elbow that caught Silva clean. The shot rocked him instantly, and Lopes followed up with heavy punches until referee Mike Beltran stepped in to stop the action. Silva, dazed and frustrated, protested the stoppage, even throwing a swing at Lopes in the heated aftermath of the fight. Emotions ran high inside the cage, but by the next day Silva was ready to speak publicly and take full responsibility for what happened. On Sunday, Silva released a statement on his Instagram stories, first acknowledging that his emotions got the better of him. "Unfortunately, yesterday the emotion got the better of me," he wrote. "I was seeing well in the second round, but I ended up rushing in with everything, just wanting to throw down." It was a candid admission that while he was still in the fight, his decision to abandon composure cost him dearly. Silva went on to reflect on how disconnected he felt during the bout. "I ended up fighting alone, I wasn't connected with my team," he explained. "So the responsibility is all mine for this loss." In a sport where fighter and corner need to be in perfect sync, Silva recognized that he broke away from the game plan and paid the price. His honesty, though painful, highlighted his determination to learn and evolve. The setback for Silva also added to a difficult stretch for his team, the Fighting Nerds. Just a week earlier at UFC Paris, both Barallo and Mauricio Ruffi saw their own impressive streaks snapped. With 3 straight losses across their roster, the team has faced criticism, with some questioning their contender status. Silva, however, isn't shying away from the conversation. Instead, he admitted the team has things to fix and promised that they would do it together. "One thing you guys were right about, the Fighting Nerds lost 3 in a row," Silva said, "so the 3 of us must be making similar mistakes. So for sure, me, Caillou, and Ruffy will have a meeting, we'll figure this out and improve. Whether people like it or not, I'm sorry, but we'll be back." In their Rees. That message of unity was clear. Rather than point fingers, Silva accepted accountability, not just for his own defeat, but for the team's recent struggles as well. The loss may sting now, but his words carried conviction, and his vow to bounce back shows that the fighter's spirit is still alive. For Silva, this is not the end but the start of a comeback, and he promises he and his team will return stronger.